Welcome back to the show. Joining me now is Inspector Paul Hargreaves from Victoria's Farm Crime Coordination Unit. Inspector, how are you doing?
Yeah, very well. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to your listeners.
It's great to have you on. I'm sure a rare insight that we'll get into farm crime that goes on in Victoria. Now, you've got some officers visiting Warrnambool sale yards soon to talk about farm crime prevention. Is there a particular region where they are going?
Yeah, so the Farm Crime Coordination Unit is a statewide unit and works in conjunction with our farm crime liaison officers, which are spread at various police stations across the state. We've been visiting a number of places in the last month, and that's because of the special weaner sales that have been on, so the young cattle sales, and we've been to Wangaratta, Wodonga, Yea, and today we're here at Warrnambool. So, for us, it's about getting out and getting to where the farmers are, and we know on peak days like this, at peak sale periods, there are many hundreds of people, farmers, that are attending these events.
Inspector, are there local concerns, or are they going to get around to other sale yards and events soon to talk about rural crime, your officers?
Yeah, look, we hope to. Our mission is to be out there where the public can access us. On a day like today, we've had around about, I'd say, 150 of our farm crime signs given out, which is around about farm security. These are some of the little things that we give to people and talk to people about. And essentially what it is how you can better protect yourself from being a victim of crime, what you can do around your farm, who you can talk to, how you can get your neighbours to look out for you. Those simple little things that just make it that little bit easier for us when we're investigating and harder for those that want to take things that shouldn't be taken and go into places where they shouldn't be.
Farmers are renowned for being reticent to report farm crime in some cases, but we recall hearing not long ago even reporting of a lost cow or sheep and how that can be helpful, whether you're unsure if it was stolen or just got away. Is this a way of breaking down the reticence to report farm crime?
Yeah, look, that does worry us, the underreporting, and we know it does happen. And, is it a case that the farmer thinks, oh, well, I've only lost one or two and the police won't be bothered with it? Is it that they don't have the time to do it, or are they worried that, maybe they'll never find it? But the fact is, unless we know something, we don't know where it's happening. And the more that's reported to us, whether it's a suspicion, whether it's actually a theft, or whether it's just something that's gone missing, if it's reported to us, it allows us to categorise and build the intelligence from that information. And therefore, we will then send people to those locations and have more focus on them. But overall, across the whole of the state, what it allows us to do is focus our resources where we need to put them. We know at the present time that the livestock theft is an area that's concerning us. And that's why we've been doing a fair bit of work around these sale yards and saying to people, if you hear something, if you see something, if you know something, or even if you just suspect something, you need to call the police. Now, whether that's through Crime Stoppers or whether that's in an emergency via 000, but we want to hear from people. The more we hear, the more we can do, and the more chance we have of solving something early.
Now, Inspector, beef prices are at record highs at the moment due to a myriad of reasons, one of those being a shortage of critical supplies. But with these beef prices being at record highs, sheep prices are healthy, and we've seen across the border, where we also broadcast in South Australia, that diesel theft has started happening in the Victoria-SA border region. So are you starting to see these sorts of thefts targeting farms due to the high value of what can be found on these farms?
Yeah, well, a very interesting question, that. What we are seeing is those, let's say, more prevalent offences of theft off farm, burglary types offences, they've decreased slightly, but we have seen, as I say, a slight increase or remaining the status quo of livestock theft. And this is like during the pandemic when movement has been somewhat restricted, so there hasn't been as many people around. So, yes, I think, what you're saying there is probably the driver behind that, is the value of these animals. So, farmers have been working really, really hard across a number of years and have faced some real adversity through drought, fire, and those other challenges you get in the rural environment. And here we are, we're enjoying a flush period where the prices are up and they're strong and they're getting paid well and rewarded well for that hard effort over the years. And unfortunately, there are criminals that walk amongst us that want to take advantage of that. And, we're having small amounts of livestock, sometimes as many as one, now up to recently 450 reported in one hit of stolen livestock. So, yes, no doubt they're probably taking advantage of those higher prices, which is why it makes it even more important that, you're reporting that suspicious behaviour and that you're doing the things around your farm property that you can to secure it and make sure it's harder for anyone to enter your property or do something they shouldn't be.
Speaking with Inspector Paul Hargreaves from Victoria's Farm Crime Coordination Unit. Now, Inspector, I understand police have been recommending, not just on the farm front, but the home front as well in Western Victoria, what the benefits are of installing CCTV technology. Now, first of all, is that in part due to the fall in cost and increased capability households have digitally to run such a system? And just as a follow-up, are there any problems with that footage being used in a court of law? Is it accepted as evidence readily?
So I'll answer the last part first. Is it accepted? Well, things are always tested in court, and that is a matter for the court, given the circumstances of how it's been obtained and whether it was obtained from the right place. And it's hard for me to just answer that very cleanly. But what I will say is, yes, they are getting cheaper, and yes, they are very handy for us when we're trying to solve crime. We will canvass the area where a theft occurs or an offence occurs looking for CCTV. If people have it, we will access it. If it's a matter that it goes to court and for some reason that's not allowed to be used, well, that, as I say, is a matter for the court. But we would encourage people, where you can, to have security cameras. It is always a great benefit. But equally, I'd say that those security cameras should be placed on your own property for your own benefit. There are some laws around that, which takes too long to talk through now, but essentially security cameras on your property would be a benefit to you and certainly a major benefit to us in trying to resolve any crime.
Now, you recently said in the media, Inspector, that the coronavirus epidemic was likely to have caused the drop in reported crime. So do you care just to comment on that?
Yeah, so during the pandemic period, there's been a number of restrictions imposed, and especially around Victoria, where there's been limited movement. Now, during that limited movement period, police have also increased their movement in and around all communities to make sure there was compliance with the rules of the pandemic. So that basically means less vehicles on the road of the public, more police and more activity. So there's a higher chance that if you were out doing the wrong thing, that you would be caught. That's got to be a deterrent for anybody doing the wrong thing. So, can we attribute it directly to the fact that crime has dropped? Well, we can insofar as the fact that crime has dropped and we have been out there more often. So yes, that has demonstrated some decreases. But as I've just said before, there has been levelling of the livestock theft. It hasn't dropped to where we wanted it to. So that's where our concern is at the present time as far as farm crime goes.
Well, Inspector Paul Hargreaves from Victoria's Farm Crime Coordination Unit, we really appreciate you giving some of your time here on Flow FM. Thank you for all the work you do in our regional communities, and you stay safe.
Yeah, thank you very much. If I can just say in passing, we would really urge people to drop into a local police station if you have any queries or concerns. Ask for your farm crime liaison officer who can help you out at any stage.